Hey class, welcome to English 3010 Online. My name is Mr. Shumway and I'll be your instructor for this semester. Now this is the first of what will become a series of weekly videos in which I walk you through the day-to-day work and kind of give you a heads up of the major projects that are coming down the pipe, all of those kind of things. Now the nature of an online course means that most of the work that you do and most of the time you spend on this class will be largely independent. This kind of weekly video situation takes the place of normal in-class lectures. Now what that means is that if you do have any questions or concerns or anything like that, you need to be the one to initiate contact with me, right? So if you're having any problems, you need to be the one to let me know. Now, I want to take this first video, I want to take this as an opportunity to talk through what it means to be in an online 3010 class, and then I'll walk you through navigating our Canvas site and kind of get you set up for the first week. So for the most part, what I want you to understand is that this is largely the same as it would be in a face-to-face class. The curriculum is the same, the projects are the same, and all those kind of things. The only difference is you won't really have the benefit of group interaction, group discussions, and things like that. Now, I'll show you in a minute because I have set up an opportunity for you to get some peer review feedback on your papers. But once again, this is primarily an independent kind of class. Now, what I want to talk about in terms of my expectations, really it just boils down to I expect you to be self-motivated, right? Like I said a second ago, if you are having problems or concerns or questions, you need to be the one that initiates those conversations, right? But that also goes into our work in general. You need to be the one that's making sure that you're on top of things. You need to keep up with the schedule. You need to keep up with the assignments. Because the normal kind of safety nets that are there in a face-to-face class, like, hey, checking in with you after a lecture or whatever, those kind of things aren't there. So again, this is your success in this class is largely dependent on your ability to time manage and to be self-motivated. All right, so what I want to do is I want to walk through what this class is, and then I'll help you navigate the course shell and all of those things. So let me kick it into student view so we can kind of see the class exactly as how you'll see it when you open up our Canvas. Now, I will be sending out periodic notifications and announcements, so make sure you're checking those. Most of the time, those will just be, hey, by the way, this week's video is up, or, I got this question a lot, so here's my kind of broad answer to a lot of the same questions, things like that. Now, if they are kind of really pertinent, I'll make sure to send out a mass email just so that it gets pushed to you as quickly as possible, but always be sure to check our announcements. Now, in terms of checking our Canvas, I expect you to check it, multiple times a week. Don't just check it in on Sunday and say, oh, what do I have to do? Because you'll see here in a minute that there are things due sometimes on Fridays. You need to make sure you're kind of working throughout the week to stay on top of things. So make sure you're checking in. Now, when you first come to our class, this is what you'll see. You'll see this kind of module stuff over here. You see all of our different links. The ones you're most going to have to worry about are the syllabus and the modules, and we'll take a look at those. If you look at the syllabus, that's up. We can pull this up. It's right here. Go ahead and open this up, and we'll kind of walk through some of the policies. Now, I'm not going to read through the syllabus like we would in a normal first day of class because, well, there's no time for that. But I will just kind of go over the finer points. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's our syllabus that we'll be using for the semester. Go ahead and read through this at your leisure, but make sure you do read through it. I want to kind of quickly steer your attention to a required text, the Wordsworth Guide to Research. We will be using that frequently throughout the semester, so make sure you get it. Project form and submission. Everything will be submitted in times New Roman double space in terms of your major projects. You will have blogs periodically, which it's fine if you just kind of enter those into the web text box that's available. In terms of finished product, this is what we're looking for. Grading. You'll see that I have a breakdown of how all of our projects fit into the grading scale. So it's out of 1,000 points total. So here's how everything breaks down. Now, the caveat, there's two things that I want to point out real quick. One, I don't accept late work at all, okay? If there's some sort of major emergency coming on and you let me know ahead of time, we can maybe figure something out. But if it comes down to, hey, I didn't turn this in last night, can I turn it in? The answer is absolutely no. Well, let me rephrase that. You absolutely have to turn it in, but you will not receive credit. Now, you will notice on my grading scale is that you have to complete all major assignments to pass this class. And that doesn't mean with a D. That means if you want credit for this class, you have to submit projects 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So even if you turn project 4 in late, you will get 0 credit, but to pass the class at all, you still have to turn it in. okay? Because each project builds on top of each other, and it's kind of all scaffolded in. And so in order to pass the class, you have to turn in your projects, okay? Even if it's for 0 credit, because it's better to get 0 credit on an assignment than it is to get 0 credit for an entire class, okay? So just be aware of that. I do not give credit for late work, but you must turn everything in. So just be on task. Quick grading scale over here. Attendance policy. Obviously, there is no attendance policy because it's an online class, but I do expect you to be checking our Canvas site periodically throughout the week. Plagiarism, that's all right there. Take a minute to read it over. Short answers, don't do it. You will get caught and you will fail the assignment. If you get caught a second time, you will fail the class, and I will report you to the department. Let's see, other things that I wanted to go to. Yeah, check your email at least once a day. And then in terms of, because this is an online course, there's some things I want to point out in terms of kind of online etiquette. Only use your Wayne State account. I will not respond to or discuss anything with a non-Wayne State account. Don't reply all. Not that should ever really be an issue. Let's see, what else? And then this is a good opportunity for you to practice being a professional, right? And so when you email me, I want you to do 3 things. 1, put our class in the subject, so English 3010, so I know where this is coming from. Number 2, address some sort of greeting. Hello, good morning, whatever it is. And then number 3 is make sure that you sign off with some sort of signature. So thank you, best, cheers, have a great weekend, whatever. These are important things that often get overlooked, but they are things that are valuable to the professional world, so it's a good opportunity to practice those things now. Once again, go ahead and read through the rest of these things at your leisure. I will cover some of this stuff later throughout the semester. Disability services, if you do have a disability of any kind, contact disability services. They can get in contact with me, and we can figure out how to move forward to make sure that you are accommodated effectively. Okay, on the syllabus, you will also see descriptions for each of our projects, as well as the rubric that I will be using. So I want to really stress that from the get-go, you have my grading rubric for every project. Okay, so you can look them up, you can see what I'll be looking for, and they're all right there. Okay, so that's the syllabus in a nutshell. I don't want to spend too much time on that. What I do want to spend some time on are these modules. So if we click down here, you will see the entire class is broken up into weeks, and the weeks are broken up into projects, right? So we have project 1, which goes from weeks 1 through 4, project 2, etc., etc. Now, your responsibility will be to make sure that you know what week it is and to click on that week. And so let's take a look. So let's say it's Wednesday. It's our first day of the semester. We're going to click on week 1, and we're going to see what we have going on. All right, so each week will look something like this. You will have weekly assignments up here. You will have a suggested schedule for the week in which you should be completing your work, required materials that you'll need to complete that work, and then links to anything that you might need to do so. Okay, so let's start at the top. So for example, for this week, your first job is to watch this video. Hello, good job, you've been doing that. And then read through the following, the course syllabus, project 1 assignment description, which is both on one of the modules, but it's also on the syllabus, wherever. And then read this out of the Wordsworth Guide. Click on this link to read this. So again, it's just a breakdown of your read. Now, the schedule is not set in stone for the most part. Again, these are just suggestions. So like by Wednesday, you should have done this. By Friday, you should do this. By Sunday, you should do this. Now, that's true. You can work at your own pace week to week. You can do whatever you want whenever you want, unless there's something due. So for example, your rough drafts for your major projects will always be due on Friday. Your final drafts will always be due on Sunday. Okay? So just make sure that you are keeping up with the work and knowing what's due and when. So for example, this week you have your first blog post due. So you see write blog 1. Blog 1 is due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So you'll come down here, you'll click your blog 1, you will submit your assignment responding to this prompt, and you'll just submit it in this text box, whatever it is. Okay? Done and done. So blogs are worth varying amounts of points depending on their complexity, from 10 to 20 points. Again, you can always go down to our grades and you can see what each thing is worth, essentially. All right, so again, I don't want to belabor the point too much on this, but make sure that you are keeping up with our schedule. Again, if we take a look at week 2, for example, you'll see it's loaded the same. Week 3, so here's a good example because you'll see on week 3 we have one of those rough drafts due. Now I want to talk about this for a second. Each of your major projects requires you to submit a rough draft to your peer review groups. Now you have been divided up already into these online groups. So if you'll look down here, you'll see there's a link to peer review groups. You'll click on this. You'll click on these until you find your name. So let's say click on this, and my name popped up here. There will be a Dropbox for you to submit your rough draft. So you will go into that by Sunday. You'll read your the other 3 members of your group's rough drafts. You'll make some comments on them, and that's how we'll do that. Now, this is important because you will be getting credit for this. So there is something called group participation on the final, as part of your final overall grade. And so I'll be grading you on how often and how much you kind of participate in these groups. So if you never participated, you get a 0 on that. If you always participated, you get, full credit for that. So just make sure you're doing those things. All right, so just to recap really quickly, major points: check your announcements, check your emails at least once a day, read the syllabus, go to your modules, find what week you're in, and start working on the schedule. Okay? If you do have any questions, or for some reason you find that you have not been placed into a group, let me know, and I will put you in there in plenty of time for week 3, so that you have that and you're ready to go. Now, I'm really looking forward to this semester. I hope you guys are too. Online classes are a lot of fun because they are, an opportunity for you to be independent. They're flexible to your schedule, and so just make sure that you're staying on task, and you will have no problem. So, again, I am always checking my email. It gets pushed right to my phone, so please feel free to email me. I will get back to you within 24 hours. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.